Good evening. It's your boy Dino Archie. Just tapping in, man. Tapping in real quick before I pulled into my parking garage. I just wanted to pull over and chop it up a little bit about that Charleston White interview. Charleston White was on Cam Newton's podcast, and man, the conversation was important. It was a great conversation. Salute to Cam Newton for letting Charleston cook. And yeah, I don't do a lot of reaction videos, but I do study the game and I do listen to important conversations. And it's a perfect night to talk about it, man. In the rain, I'm out here in Vancouver. You know, it's just left the gym. You know, so I took care of my business. So it's, you know, it's definitely time to put a highlight on a lot of what Charleston was saying. It was a 3-hour interview, so I'm not gonna go over a full review of it, but some of the main important issues and topics that he touched on and that Cam brought up. You know, it was great because the delivery. I feel that the black community, the black community has a problem with delivery. You know, Charleston White, people are almost afraid of his delivery. Similar to Kanye West. Yes, no disrespect to Ye, formerly known as Kanye West. People are afraid of delivery, like to the point to where if you share something, you know, that Ye said or Charleston said, you know, people will automatically put you in a category of a problem or a disturber, or because of the way these black men deliver their message or their point. And me as a comedian, me as an individual, I strongly believe in the freedom to deliver a message however the hell you want, and the most effective way for people to listen. And that's the first takeaway, the first reveal to this conversation was Charleston, breaking down how, you know, with the comment of fuck Deion, you know, to say that there's going to be a visceral reaction to the black community because of our love of celebrities. We love celebrities. We put them in a godlike status, you know, because of their ability to play a game or to sing a song. You know, we did it with Puffy. We do it with Bill Cosby. You know, if Bill was just an old nigga working at Walmart, he'd be an old rapist, you know, but we don't want to hold our celebrities accountable, even if we're wrong. So I'm not saying I agree with everything Charleston White, his point of view, but I do 100% agree with his approach to get people to listen. You know, you could say bullshit in rap songs. You could rap about spinning the block and smoking on a 15-year-old op, you know. You could do all that kind of shit, which is fine. But as soon as you sit down and you don't have a beat behind you and you say, you know, let's take these celebrities off these pedestals, and you say it in that way, fuck this person or fuck that person, you know, the community wants to defend that person for some reason. It's like it's some kind of syndrome, you know. And I strongly believe in the right to exercise language. And, you know, who are you that someone can't say fuck you? Now, if you're the toughest guy and you're gonna fight over that, then you go ahead and do that, and you go to jail or win a fight or get shot or whatever people do. But, you know, that language was his first. That's Charleston's approach, and that's what I take away from that, and I appreciate, especially in this day, in this era that we're in, where everybody wants to, in the black community, get invited to the rock brunch. You know, niggas want to get invited to brunch and be in the it club. You know, that's the only way you could explain Puffy being able to do what he's done allegedly for this long, and just now everyone wants to come out and be brave. I'm not talking about the accusers, I'm talking about the enablers, the community around it. And you know, so I'm all over the place, but circling back to Charleston's and Cam's conversation about Deion, and I got love for Deion, but that should not overshadow or blind me from looking at it from a different perspective. That Deion leaving the HBCU and taking the talent and taking the shine and the rappers and the platform to Colorado, you know, that we should all be on board with that, and he's above reproach or above, you know, being you know, analyzed or being disagreed with. No, that, you know, no community can grow that way. No one's above that. Nobody's above accountability, and nobody's beneath love. So I love that about the conversation, man. Just that, you know, the idea of like, yeah, use language. That's the perk of living in this country, is the freedom of speech. You know, so when I see a Charleston White talking crazy, it's an art to that. It's an art form. It's a method, because behind it, there's a purpose. Behind it, there is an idea, something that challenges you, something that makes you feel uncomfortable. You know, saying fuck Deion and fuck Nipsey Hussle because he's saying fuck what that action represents. And you know, I think that's very important. I think that's needed. And it was beautiful. It was beautiful to see two black men being able to, on their own platform, have that type of conversation. You know, it's okay to not fit in. That's another takeaway from it, is our community and us as a people want to fit in, and we're afraid to stand out and go against the grain. You know, we have to go be on code, you know, just when it comes to celebrity. But then if that celebrity, the celebrity could do anything except if Ice Cube meets with Trump or something, then he's a coon, you know. So that I like that concept of what a coon is and what a coon isn't. When we say, oh, Charleston's a coon, or Ye's a coon, or this person's a coon, you know. But you know, as soon as Deion left the HBCU, so did the hashtags. So I like that. It's because it gives us agency, it gives us responsibility. If there isn't us, you know, I don't speak for the black community, but I'm black. I'm part of this shit, and I'm not from the hood, so that's another thing that I relate to about Charleston White. I had a pool. My parents were cops, you know, but every city I go into when I do comedy, you know, the places I like to kick it in are usually in the slums. You know, I'm not there for no tough time. I'm there for a good time. And you know, that's where, you know, the style, that's where you know, the flavor of the city is. The heart of the city is, you know, when I'm in Cuba, I go where I'm not hanging out at the resorts. I'm in the streets, man, in the favelas, and you know, where, you know, and I'm right at home, you know. So damn, yeah, no, there was so many powerful things, man. So his testimony is definitely valid. Is his testimony gives Charleston White's testimony gives him, you know, a true perspective and a true credibility. That's what I'm saying. You know, that there's a credibility that's missing in the game, and it's rare. And I don't know the guy, you know, but he leads with his faults. You know, he leads with talking crazy. He leads with, you know, his his history. He's not ashamed of it. He's not hiding something, and he talks this kind of way because, you know, he's living a lifestyle that he doesn't have to be ashamed of. You know, like me, I joke about cheating on my wife all the time because it's hilarious. I don't do it. That's what makes it funny. If you do Louis C.K., Louis was joking about pulling his dick out, but then he was doing it. You can't hide in plain sight like that, you know? So you can talk crazy, you can, to get a point across, you know, that's the art of dialogue. That's the you know, that's the craft, you know, that's poetic. You know, that's a Richard Pryor type stuff, you know? So, but to stand on business, as they say, that's something that's more rare. So when you know, Cam was like, would you do what Deion did? You know, he was like, yeah. And he was like, then how can you judge him? He was like, because I wouldn't do it. That double talk, that shit is an art. Because he's like, well, I already know I passed up on the bag. Yeah, he said, I could have got 250 grand or 500 grand, but I already passed on that. So I could talk this way. A lot of people can't talk that way because they've played the game, or they've tried to the cosign. We're a culture of co-signing, especially in this bullshit entertainment field, which is I've been a comedian for 10 plus years. You know, I've been funny on stage probably for like 5 years. Off stage, I've been funny for a long time, but I'm learning to be a comedian. But the industry part is the grossest part. The industry part is I'm ashamed to be a part of the entertainment industry. I love the craft, and I love the art of it. I love watching people, you know, have these types of conversations, man, that he had. I love watching people on stage cook, you know, the Cat Williams and the Mike Epps and, you know, all sorts of, you know, Patrice O'Neal, this brilliant comics, man, Carlin, you know. But a lot of these people that stand out to me, they had integrity, you know. They would say I'm a piece of shit, but I stand on this star terrain, you know. These people, you know, so yeah, I feel like Charleston is in that line of things. You know, I don't know what he's going to do to Dick Gregory's. I feel like he's in that bag, you know, where you have to be able to not be in love and be able to be seduced by fitting in and, you know, wanting to go to the freak offs or the parties or whatever the hell else you got to do, to where 20 years later you got to do interviews to distance yourself or apologize. Not to say people haven't made mistakes or I haven't made mistakes, but there's some shit that you just got to pay for. And there's some shit that if you don't want to pay for it, you got to shut the fuck up. And that's the difference. And, you know, in an era where everybody's talking and there's so much goddamn noise, it was really refreshing, and it was important to see a real conversation. And yeah, so salute to Cam, salute to Charleston. You know, yeah, he definitely has a supporter, man. Somebody who respects, you know, respects his angle and his approach. So don't hit the brake, man. Put your foot on the gas, man. And, you know, and I'm gonna take that advice myself. You know, so when people listen, you know, you got to get people to listen, and then, you know, give them something, you know, give them something that's worth their attention. You know, they say make them laugh, and when their mouth is open, put in the medicine. That sounds too close to the Cosby thing. I don't want to do no finesse you into doing something, but, you know, anyways, I think you get the point. Have a good night. I'll tap in with you on another night.